Hello friends and welcome back to Oscar's Cozy Corner. Today is another DreamSnap video, but I thought instead of doing a speed build this week, I would actually put the choice of my DreamSnap to you guys. So I've actually built two DreamSnaps this week. I really love them both. One is an indoor submission, one is an outdoor submission. And instead of recording the process this time, I thought that I would just show you each DreamSnap and then I would give you a little choice at the end to see which one you prefer most and which one I should submit this week. So I'm going to take you through my first one, which is outdoors, and then I'm going to take you inside and show you the indoor one. I'll walk you through some of the choices I made, some of the little tricks that I used as well, and we'll see what you think. So let's jump in and take a look at the first one. Okay, so this is my first outdoor build for this week's DreamSnap. You'll see that I'm already actually in my outfit for this week. That's why I did my intro section dressed in this character, not my usual Oscar character. But I'll bring you outside and we'll take a look at what I've built. So I really wanted this piece to be like Tiana's opening night kind of vibe. So I really went with Tiana's palace in the middle as the feature for this one. And then that was the central piece and I sort of built everything around that. So I used that as the initial piece, and then I used these parks entry pieces that we got. I think they were a premium shop item, or maybe they were a Star Path item a few months ago, because like the red brick matches perfectly and so does the white trim around the edge. So I thought framing it, having those either side, would be like a perfect complement to Tiana's palace building. I've then also used the trains, the New Orleans trams that we got just behind. I actually originally had them down the side, so I had them in place of where the parks entries were, but I actually swapped them around about halfway through, and I just preferred the impact of the park's entry because it's obviously a lot taller, it has slightly more impact, and when it was behind the palace, it got kind of lost, so I swapped those around, and I actually prefer how it looks. If I bring you down the back here, so I put these fireworks down, but I don't actually end up using these because they are in the wrong place. You don't actually get a good sight of them, so I've got these ones here, but I will talk about the fireworks a little more in a sec. I've also used the Ratatouille entrances either side to like frame up the space and fill in that little bit at the back. So you can see there, it doesn't have much of an impact, like if you just think of it from terms of seeing like the Ratatouille sign, but I think it's probably a glass roof, the glass roof overhang just peeking through. When I set the DreamSnap up, you can see that coming through, and it is a really nice, like just filler, like a little bit of filler for the back of the picture. Moving on, I've also added in these June palm trees here because when I Googled some pictures of like New Orleans in the 20s for the Star Path, these palm trees did come up. Whether they're accurate or not, I do not know, but I feel like they frame out the picture quite well. So if I come down here and show you it from this angle, I just like the way they sit next to the palace, and they also sort of like contrast against the red trees in the background, which is what I created like I would say the backdrop of, because I didn't want to see the dream castle while I was making this and while I was framing up the shot. So I was like, what are the tallest trees? And there are some taller trees in the game, but I really wanted the red to tie in, like, especially because I've used the Main Street path. I wanted it all to be sort of like a red theme with the foliage that is green to really pop and stand out, especially because I knew that I was going to use Tiana and this outfit. So I feel like red and green is the perfect color palette for this, this specific snap. I'm going to go into furniture mode just to give you an overhead view before I show you the sort of like framed up version of the snap. I'm also doing this in a different lighting to what I took the DreamSnap in. So I really like the sunrise and sunset lighting in the game. I don't really like the midday lighting. So I'm going to just show you everything in the regular lighting and then I'll offset it in the settings afterwards. So this is a better view of what I've done up here. So I really love doing symmetrical approaches in my DreamSnaps. I feel like they work quite well. And when your character is in the center, it's just nice to have that symmetry either side. So the first thing I did was put Tiana's palace down, and then I built it out with the Ratatouille fountains, which now have animation finally. They seem to have fixed the animation on this, so it does have some water. There is still that interaction that you can set off, but it still lasts a second. So I don't really see the point in that. A little trick that I've done here, I did do this in my Plaza video as well, if anybody saw that, is I've actually put some of the fountain tiles underneath this fountain to give it a bit more movement and a bit more water. So that's a nice little tip. The fountain tiles do fit under anything, I think. I don't think they're restricted from going under anything, but I like to place them under my fountains as well, just to give that little like oomph. Moving on, you will see that I've put the bistro tables down that we got from Tiana, as well as the bistro chairs. And then I've also used the orange lily, the little glowing orange lilies that we got in the Star Path, I think. It was either Star Path or Scrooges. I don't know. There's so many items in this game. I forget what we get half the time. And then these little pieces of foliage here are from the new aerial bundle, I believe. So I really like these, and I feel like they kind of fit with that 1920s vibes, because I know that they loved like palms and all that sort of thing back then. So I really like those. I placed the rugs down here as well from that aerial bundle. Honestly, not really any particular reason, because you can't see them when the shot's framed up very well, but I just wanted the extra tags. I've also used the fireflies dotted around, which look really nice at night, and then they do complement the fireworks when the fireworks go off. So I really like all that, like as a whole, for lighting, especially at sort of like sunset time. I think it looks really nice. I will show you what these random little table and chairs are for in a second. They are for setting up the DreamSnap, so I actually use them to trap Tiana in. But the final thing I will show you is actually create a bit of a junkyard behind this wall here. So if you've ever wondered how people get their tags up, or if you've seen like somebody post a picture of their DreamSnap with the little tags box up in the left, and you think, oh my gosh, how have they got such like high tags? They're usually doing this. So I don't think it's like, it's not a crime to do this. You know, a lot of people do it, but I don't think it should be gate kept either. If you do want to get your tags up, what I typically do is I build some sort of wall. I'll have bookcases, you know, I'll have trees, and then behind it, I'll just go through the DreamSnaps tab and I'll just like pick stuff to put down, and it just gives you extra tags. So just be aware that you can do that if it's an outdoor submission. It is a bit more difficult to do that inside, but yeah, people who have extremely high tags are often doing this sort of like junkyard approach. So if you never manage to hit, like, you should be hitting the tags, but if you never manage to go over and above and have like 50 tags or whatever, don't feel bad. It's not you doing something wrong. It's just the approach that people take. If I come out of this mode, I will now show you what I do with Tiana to get her trapped within these little touch of magic items and what they do. So let me offset the time, because this is the best approach. I try to play around a little bit and see when it goes to sunset. So 3 hours, 2 hours. So I usually like to take the first one just after the sunset. So you'll see that when I do plus 1 hour, it's not quite set yet. Although, what? How are you there? You can see all of these fences, like Mari's over there dancing, of course. But I add these fences in to stop people getting in the way when I'm trying to do a DreamSnap. So I don't need you to sit down. I actually don't need you. What? And Wally, what the? Right, okay, let me go inside. Let me just do this while I can do it before they show up again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to offset 2 times, because that's like as soon as the sun sets. The lights haven't come on just yet, and these lights have a nice glow, but it's too like it's quite opaque. So if the lights do come on, I tend to turn those off as well. But what I do is I will go into furniture mode, and then I will remove one of these chairs for now. I'm going to push Tiana into that gap. Sorry, Tiana. We're going in there, and then I'll run away, go back into furniture mode, and move the chair back in place. So now Tiana's trapped, which means when I glide over here to do the fireworks, I zip around the back, and I hit the other side. Oh my God, Anna, no. No. I don't know where you're coming from. Right. I'm still going to show you anyway. So then I go into camera mode, set the shot up. I like to frame it perfectly. I'm a bit too far in front here, so I'm just going to go back slightly. And then when I open this menu and I hit R2, I can hide the touch of magic item straight away and then get the shot. Obviously, she's blinking in that one, and you can see my tags. But yeah, when I come back out of the camera mode, then she's still trapped. So if I need to take this a couple of times, or if I'm not getting the fireworks, if I'm not hitting the poses, or if people like Anna decide to come into the shot and sit down, I can keep Tiana trapped. And then when I set the shot up again, like the fireworks have obviously stopped now, I can go back around, set them off, come back in place, hide that furniture again, and Tiana's in exactly the place that I need her. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hide Just going to try and get rid of Anna again. So I'm going to fence this bit off because she might be coming out of Scrooge's. I don't know. Like, you can see that I've literally got fences everywhere, but I don't know where she's appearing from. Let's see if that works. I'm going to come out. I'm going to go back into the palace, and then I'm going to come back out. See, I don't often do live recordings while I play the game because I'm often doing voiceover over clips I've already recorded, or I record the voiceover and then match the clips up. So I find that recording while I play is very chaotic because the characters are so unpredictable. But hopefully when I come out of here, nobody's going to appear again, fingers crossed. So I'm just going to drag Tiana all the way back around here. We're going to move the chair. Push her back into place. And then put the chair back in place. So again, now she's trapped. Perfect. So I'm going to go back around to the fireworks. And then I'm not going to take a photo for this one. I'm just going to frame the shot up and show you the dream snap. And then I will actually put the two versions I have properly taken up at the end. So I'm going to come back here. So I know that this is my mark roughly around the corner of the chair. And when I come into furniture mode, I want these two pillars here to be sort of like equally spaced apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into the camera because I want Tiana to look. The selfie mode makes her look my way. Change the view and then hide the furniture. So this is the frame for the first dream snap with the fireworks going off, with the fireflies, and then hopefully capturing the water fountains as well. I'm going to take a few tries sort of like off recording to get this, and then I will, like I said, put the picture that I've chosen and settled on at the end. Okay, so this one is an indoor shot. This one took me quite a while to put together as well, but it's in a similar vein to the outdoor one. I kind of wanted to, obviously, for the DreamSnap theme, go with that sort of like New Orleans vibe, but I've used a mixture of the Oswald items and the Tiana items in here, as well as some of those Ariel items. I just feel like they all kind of tie in really well together. I've actually used a lot of the same things that I used outside. I just tried to build out a different sort of vibe for the indoor room. So I kind of went with like, it's kind of like a restaurant cum bar type vibe. So let me just go into furniture mode and I'll just give you a better look at what I've done. So again, I've used symmetry in here because I really wanted to have like me in the middle and then either side just perfectly reflected. I just think like visually it always looks like visually it's safe because there's not too much going on either side. You're not trying to balance it if you know that you've got exactly the same thing going on each side. So I really like using that as a tactic in DreamSnaps just to sort of like make my life a little bit easier. The first item that I put down was actually this bar item from Oswald on the back wall, and I sort of built everything out from there. So I've used like Remy's windows. I've got a little table hidden just behind the bar. So when the shot is framed up, you can see the gramophones. I think they're called gramophones. But you can't actually see the table. And then I've added some cloches there just for extra tags. What I haven't done yet is all in this space down here, I'm going to actually use really little items to fill in the space and get some extra tags for the shot because indoor items are notoriously difficult to get high tags for. As you can see, I've also used the bistro tables in here. I actually need to put one back just on this side because I needed to leave it empty when I came in these doors because every time I came in, I was getting trapped and I couldn't go anywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, I'm not going to delete it. I'm going to grab it, duplicate it, and then just pop one just here. So when the shot is framed up, you've just got the edge of these tables coming into frame. Now, I know that sparkles are a little bit overdone, but I still like them. I think they add to the shot and I feel like they help. They capture people's eye when you're voting. So I still like sparkles and I still vote for ones with sparkles. I feel like people who say, I'm not voting for anything with sparkles, you know, like, well, if they look good, you may as well. On the back wall, the return wall, I've actually used a different set of windows. So on each side, I really wanted it to feel like, I zoom in a little bit, I wanted it to feel like it had like these really big grand windows on both sides, almost kind of like a conservatory or some kind of like outhouse sort of on a grand manor, you know, that sort of vibe. But then to get the lighting, because I really love the indoor lighting on this game, one, these windows are bugged, so the aerial windows don't give any lighting at all. There's nothing that comes through. But two, I've used the jazz windows over here, just a line of them, because obviously you can't see them in the final shot, but they do cast these really, really nice sort of like lighting shadows on all of the tables, like especially at like that angle. The lighting is something that the devs have done so well in this game, and I really love how they've approached it. So I tried to make use of it wherever I can. As for the other elements in the room, I sort of used like the Art Deco floor. I've used the column pillars that we got from Oswald, and then I've used like a nice set of chandeliers and a couple of pendants, as well as some foliage. Again, the same stuff from the aerial bundle that I use outside, and just a couple of bits to decorate on the countertops. And then I've also brought in some of the food. It was this was actually just what Tiana had on sale at her stall today. So I brought the beignets because they're always on sale. I believe the gumbo's always on sale. And then I brought in the root beer, and I couldn't pronounce that when I read it, so I'm not going to try now. But yeah, I just reflected it on both tables again to keep that symmetry. One thing I do want to show you is these lights. So you can see that I've kind of added an excessive amount of lights to the ceiling. When I was doing the initial build, if I offset the graphics just so they turn off, like when I had, it was kind of like this angle for the camera, like when those lights are not on the ceilings are so boring. Like I wish we could change the color of the ceilings. I wish we could apply a wallpaper or even a flooring to the ceiling. It would really change indoor submissions for DreamSnaps, because otherwise it's kind of like just plain white textured ceiling. So I do wish that we had that. I feel like it'd be a super easy thing to implement. But for this shot, I decided to fill the ceiling with those single sort of spotlights that I found in Scrooge's a couple of weeks ago. The only issue with them is when I go to offset the time, because I like the evening times, it is quite overpowering, like that whole white glow, and you kind of miss the features at the back. So I've added in two mannequins with kind of like a half Oscar outfit on. It's still got the mustache and I like the hair, but I wanted them to be like sort of waiters. But yeah, you can see it's got this really bright white glow, which actually, when I think about it and like I frame the shot up, this is actually probably the exact framing that I'm going to use for the shot, something like that. Actually, doesn't that look great? That really looks good. I haven't even put the vote up yet, but I feel like that's kind of like a perfect shot. It's annoying because my tags are okay, but I haven't hidden anything yet, so I just want to like bump those tags up just a little bit with putting stuff behind the counters. But actually, when I think of it, I feel like even on small devices, that sort of brightness is going to really capture people's eye. So I'm not going to sway you either way, because I will put both up at the end. But for now, actually, that works. What I was going to say is I'm going to come back in because I've realized that at night, like physically at your local time, these lights do change. So when I was doing the Hola Casita DreamSnap and I was doing the library build, these pendant lights specifically had, you can see it's kind of like a white glow, but it's like quite opaque. It like dulls a lot of the background. When it hit 9 p.m. at my local time, I realized that these lights turned different. So even though I was offsetting the time, like when it actually hit 9 p.m. local time, these lights became like really warm. There wasn't that sort of like white film, I would say, over them, like that's causing them to have like that weird glow. They actually changed physically at my nighttime to be much more bright, much more glowy. So I'm recording this ahead of time. If I end up taking my DreamSnap like tonight or giving you the options for this video tonight, I will come back at 9 p.m. and I will put the different versions up on the screen. So just to show you what it's like now and just to show you what it's like at 9 o'clock. So you can actually see the difference in lighting. That is not like a difference in my DreamSnap entry. I just wanted to show you like outside with the fountain tiles. Just if you actually wait until late in the evening, the lighting does change and it does make a difference. Okay, it's 9 p.m. I've just come back to the room minus Tiana, and you can already see how different the lighting is. Like, it is so bright in here compared to earlier. I will put a little split screen up in a second just so you can see what I mean. But the lights on the ceiling have actually like turned on now. So they were technically on in the room before, but they weren't bright and they didn't have a glow. So you can actually see the like little halo around the lights now, but it makes such a difference to the actual brightness of the room. If I come into this camera mode, I will take a picture like this, and then I will put up both of the versions that I took, one earlier, one now, and you can see the difference in lighting. As you can see, I've actually offset the time now at 9 p.m. to the time that I had it before when I offset the time. So both of the offsets are technically exactly the same, but the difference is that it's actually like 9 p.m. local time. So this is how the lights actually change when the night is your actual nighttime, if that makes sense, because it's not very well advertised that you can actually offset the time, but the lights will also change when your local time goes to night as well. So that is just something to be aware of if you want a much brighter shot or you want the lights to have a different vibe. They do change throughout the day. So definitely be aware of that and make the most of it because it can be used to your advantage. Okay, friends, so I've shown you both of the options. Which one do I submit for my DreamSnap this week? Do I submit option 1, which is the outdoor version of the snap outside of Tiana's palace? That is kind of like Tiana's palace opening night vibe, me and Tiana going out for a couple of drinks and to have some fun. Or do I do the inside version, which is me and Tiana still going out for a couple of drinks and having some fun, but inside like a 1920s speakeasy? Do let me know in the comments down below which one you prefer and which one I should submit this week. Also, let me know if you enjoyed this type of video. It's a little different to what I usually do because I do speed builds usually for my dream snaps, but I love decorating. I love making builds in this game. If you enjoyed seeing both and you enjoyed taking ideas from each, then maybe let me know and I can continue doing this, sort of like doing 2 different builds going forward. And yeah, I'd love to hear what you think. So let me know which one you prefer and let me know if you would like to see more of this. Thank you again for supporting the channel. Thank you for watching. I will catch you in the next video, and I will, of course, see you in the valley.